All right, I need to be honest with you about something. The way most closers pre-handle objections, the scripts, the frameworks, the little formulas everyone copies from each other, it's not just ineffective, it's actively making your calls harder to close. And I've seen it on every single sales team that I've trained. Same patterns, same mistakes, same deals dying for the same reason. I even had sales reps who were already doing well, making 15K a month in commissions. And then once I taught them this new pre-handling sequence, they felt like they had to relearn sales again. On this video, I'm gonna show you a private module that's in my paid training. And it's the same process that helps me close $10,000 PIFs on one call every single day. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so here's exactly how I melt objections before they come up and get $10,000 days without fighting for every sale. So in this module, what you're gonna walk away with, number one, is 2 ways to start pre-handling in discovery. One will quietly kill your close rate if you're not careful. Number 2, the pre-frame method that gets prospects sold before you even pitch. And number 3, the pre-handling mistakes that sabotages your close rate without you even realizing it. Okay, a lot of guys do this. So first, you need to understand that everything that you've been told about pre-handling objections is costing you deals. What it's not objection prevention. It's not trying to get someone to tell you that money or time prevented them from doing more. It's realizing that their fear and pride has kept them stuck where they are. If you really boil down every objection that comes after you pitch, it's always indecision. It's always a delay. It's always fear, right? Most human beings are conditioned to not say yes to the first thing that they do. They're always conditioned to do what's comfortable. And there's no reason why you need to get money or time in the discovery and try to pre-handle that, because that's not the root issue why they're not going to move forward with you later. It's always fear. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do this on this video. Now we're going to break down the 2 ways to start pre-handling objections. All right, quick disclaimer before we dive into each pre-handling pathway. Everything you're about to see works on any high ticket offer, okay? Whether it's fitness, biz op, investing, you name it. But here's what you need to understand. Even if you study these frameworks word for word, every call looks different. And I'll be real with you. I used to be the guy watching every sales training video and none of it clicked until I had someone sit down, listen to my actual calls, and tell me what I was doing wrong. That's what unlocked record months for me. So if you want me to do the same for you, where I personally review one of your sales calls for free and show you exactly where your deals are dying, I'm opening on my calendar for a limited time. And I'll send you every resource from this video as a bonus, plus my own call recording breakdowns. The link is in the description. Let's get back into the pathways. The first way, you probably heard this online, you've probably seen a lot of different sales trainers use this, but this one, what you don't understand, this one can tank your close rate because it's not properly giving you the leverage to be able to seamlessly go into someone's fear and indecision, right? Here is number 2, which is the natural admission of guilt formula. It's the exact one that I use that's going to allow you to do everything that I'm saying that you need to be able to do, which is getting to their fear. So with the natural admission of guilt, you want to set up the pre-handling sequence a little bit better. There's things that your offer solves that you know the prospect doesn't have, okay? So you basically ask them, what do you have in place for finding properties off market? What about finding buyers to actually get those properties under contract? You know they don't have these things. So they're going to say, no, no, no. And the next question is, I hear you. So if we haven't had the thoughts in the last 2 years to put these things in place, do you 100% agree that you need a guide, like some accountability, so that we can get these things set up? So that you're no longer working 9 to 5, living paycheck to paycheck, whatever the worst case scenario consequences that you discovered earlier in the call. Then you're hitting them with, so then why haven't we moved heaven and earth to find that guide and get the accountability? And this is going to open up a bunch of different pathways here that you need to know how to handle, whether it's they are lazy, whether they say money, whether they say time, whether they say trust, whether they say bad experience, whether they say they're already in a program, whether they say they're already shopping around. Every single one leads them to one pinnacle, which is essentially getting them to tell you that they need to change, right? And I'll explain how to get there for each one. We'll do one at a time. The main one being, usually people say money, okay? But in all honesty, we're trying to get them to admit that the fear of investing into themselves has led them to where they are now, and they have to break that chain. So we'll start with money. The very first thing here is if someone says, oh yeah, money prevented me. I hear you. Can I offer you perspective? Have there been people out there with living paycheck to paycheck, whatever they said earlier in the call, money tight, whatever, but somehow they were still able to achieve success, leave their job, work remote? How do you think they're able to pull that off? They're obviously not going to know, or they might say, oh, like they might say some random excuse. There's always going to be people who let a situation overcome them, like letting money be the reason why they can't achieve financial freedom and leave their job and work wherever they want. But the people who overcame the situation were the ones who made this a priority and got resourceful to find the money to do it. If you never draw the line in the sand and get resourceful and to message your skill set, is anything going to change? No. So with how important this is, what prevented you from moving heaven and earth for your finances, for your financial freedom, and found the money to invest into your skill set? Now, if they give you fear, oh, like I just don't know like who to trust or like da da da. If they say I don't know, we're gonna go into a doctor analogy. Okay, I'll go into that right now. Before I go into each pathway here, that way you kind of understand why we're doing these things that we're doing. So if they say fear, then we're just gonna go straight into inception, which is literally just getting them to tell you that they need to break that chain, they need to trust people more, they need to be able to like gain the courage to do that. But if they don't, which oftentimes you're not going to always have people saying off the bat that fear is the thing that stopped them. So we're going to use a doctor analogy. So I always ask this. I hear you. I mean, like, have you ever gotten stitches before? What was the first thing that you did when you first got cut? And they're going to say, oh, I got help, whatever. What happens if you didn't get help? Here's the thing though. Like, do you know why some people choose to not go to the hospital? It's pretty common. And they're going to say whatever. They're going to say, I don't know, money. I don't even know. The biggest reason why people don't go is fear. Take a silence here. Just look at them. They're afraid of doctors, needles. They're afraid of doing the operation and it not working out or possibly being in a worse spot than before. When you first notice that you needed help, why haven't we moved heaven and earth to get in front of a doctor all this time? Notice my tone. I'm not attacking them. There's a degree of care, almost like I'm talking to like my mom, like someone that I know that's needed help for a while and they haven't. Like, that's a huge thing. If you want to get someone to change, I'll take a quick pause here before we go into the inception piece. If you want someone to change, there's an old like fable about like the sun and the wind. They were like the sun and the wind were basically in an argument trying to get to a point where how can we get this person on the street to take off their jacket? So the wind blowed like 1,000 km/h wind on the person and the guy just grabbed the jacket even more. And then the sun, all it had to do was shine brighter and the person took off the jacket on their own. When you're going through these sequences, you cannot come off as combative, okay? That's the main thing. So after we go through here, right, we want to be able to go straight into the inception piece because they're usually going to say something like, oh yeah, like I didn't know who to trust, like, like, okay. So then we say, we can either go either or here. We can go to this one or this one. I usually just go here and I mix each of these here. I put word tracks that you can use. The whole point of me putting this optional one here is so that I can get them to understand that courage is what they need to succeed, not certainty, not anything else. So I'll kind of show you like a mix match of what I usually do on my calls. So I'm like, I hear you. Can I share a perspective with you? Can you see how this fear has led us to where we are now? I mean, just like looking back over the last like 6 months, what have we missed out on? At this point, I usually switch here. Yeah, I'm like, okay. So, I mean, where does growth come from? Does it come from a place of comfort or discomfort? They're going to say discomfort. And you can ask, why discomfort? Great. I mean, like, do you know what that's called? It's courage. Do you know the definition of courage? Most people don't, so they're probably going to say no. And then you say, it's not the absence of fear. It's the triumph over it. So because I care about you, I need you to understand that you have to be scared. Like you need to get uncomfortable, right? Or else you're not going to grow, right? If investing into yourself was super easy and there was a guaranteed clear-cut path, do you feel like a lot more people would be doing it? Yeah. So what happens like if we just never gain the courage to invest into ourselves? What would life look like at that point? And if they say, oh yeah, not good, I probe even deeper. I'm like, well, I mean, what does that look like though? Like, what is it though? I get them to really picture that. Then the next thing is, so how committed are we to drawing a line in the sand moving heaven and earth and gaining the courage to invest into ourselves? Because you don't have to. Man, oh man. Like, that really gets people going. And the thing is, they know why they're on the call, and you have to understand that these people don't want to be there. But again, the biggest reason why people live in their consequence of inaction is because they didn't reflect. And usually it's a fear of them not going deep enough into what would life look like if I don't actually get over this fear. Does it mean I have to be fearless? No, it's courage. Okay. So we'll move on here. We'll go into time, and then we'll breeze through each one quickly. So if someone says, oh yeah, like time, like I wasn't able to find someone because I got so busy with my job. I hear you. I can choose either or here. Are you a human being? Is Jeff Bezos a human being? Is John a human being? Do we all have the same 24 hours in a day? Why do you feel like all these people are able to achieve so many things? Run successful companies, take care of their health, despite having so many things on their plate in the same 24 hours as everybody. And they're going to be like, oh, like, it's a matter of priority, right? And finding the time, because it's important. Would you agree? I mean, with how important this is, what prevented you from moving heaven and earth for your health, for your financial freedom, whatever the offer is, and finding the time? And if they say fear, inception. If they go, I don't know, doctor analogy. Boom. Next one, trust. If someone says, oh, like this is a pretty common one. Now, again, because I've set it up this way, I'm usually going to get trust from the bat. Like, that's the beauty of this framework, of these three-step framework here. So if someone says, oh, like there's so many people online, you never know, like, oh, you can't know how you trust these days, like AI. I hear you. So it sounds like you're worried about potentially investing your money to something and not getting a return. Is what you're looking for a guarantee? They're probably going to say yes. Like most people will say yes to that. Then I hit them with a very good reframe. It's like, have you ever been to the gym before? If they look like they've been to the gym, then be like, are you actively subscribed to a gym? Like, have you subscribed to gym membership before? Yeah. I mean, when you first signed up, when you were getting your keys, your card, your towel, did the receptionist like slide an agreement over the desk and say, we will guarantee you a six-pack? No. Why not? Whose responsibility is it at the end of the day to get the results? Is it the gym or is it you? Why not the gym? Now look, I mean, like, if you look at anybody successful, did they get there by making decisions knowing that it was 100% going to work? Or did they challenge themselves by taking risks and leaning into the uncertainty? Now, I'm not saying, and again, let them respond. Next thing here is, and I'm not saying these people, even our most successful clients, I'm not saying that they weren't uncertain at all, they were fearless, right? Because then you wouldn't be human, right? I'm not saying that they also fully trusted everybody on site, but do you know what it was that allowed them to find the success? Courage. And then the same thing, like literally the same process as the doctrine, as the analogy that we used before down here. So literally it's like, okay, so after they get to the point where they understand, okay, like, yes, trust is a big thing, but you can't let the trust prevent you from doing something else and like doing something in the future. You're basically obliterating that objection and getting them to tell you, yeah, like I can see how this fear has held me back. I mean, how committed are you to actually changing that? Because you don't have to. If they say yes, then great, whatever. Moving on. We'll go into procrastination, which doesn't really, I mean, it happens depending on the offer, but again, if it's fitness, if it's making money online, whatever the offer is, again, you can tweak the 10,000, whether it's dream physique or whatever, but whatever. If I said, here's $10,000, just take it. Would you procrastinate on taking it? And they're going to be like, no. Okay, so it's not procrastination then. Like, could it just be a little bit of fear? Like maybe you're not working, like failing. And they're going to be like, yeah, I can see that. I hear you. So like, what does failure look like to you? I mean, are you more worried about failing later in this journey? Or is it fear around investing money into something online? If it's investing money online, you go to trust. Boom, hit that. If it's fear around starting, which will happen sometimes. You have guys that are just like, guys or girls that are just super nervous. They don't really take a lot of action. So, okay, so I mean, so you're 100% on board with investing money into your skill set then? Okay, yeah, that's great. I mean, are you open to a perspective? Walk me back to the time that you first rode a bike. Did you fall? I mean, when you fell, what did you do? They're gonna say, get back up. Yeah, like you didn't take the bike and find the nearest dumpster and throw the bike away, did you? No, exactly. Why not? Have them explain themselves. Have them frame themselves. Yeah, it's like the same principle applies to every single thing you've done and will ever do in your entire life. And you get to choose who you will be and how you will respond. I mean, what happens if we never try? Will anything change? No. Inception, baby. All right, up next. Bad experience. You'll have some people that say, oh, like I had a bad experience. Great. So, oh, I hear you. I'm very sorry to hear that. Empathy, right? We're humans. But I mean, kudos to you for investing in yourself before. Not a lot of people do that, okay? So that one encounter has prevented you from seeking more help? Yes? Gotcha. I mean, can I give you some honest thoughts? Has your heart ever been broken before? Yeah? I mean, after that happened, does that mean you should never look for love again? You just stop looking for love? No. Yeah, okay, great. As long as we're in alignment there, that's good. But in the program that you were in before, were other people getting results in that program? Yes? If they say yes, no, if it's no, like it was a complete scam, okay, great. You just move on from this point. But the reason why I'm asking these questions is so I can understand whether it was genuinely on them that they failed, like, oh, like the program sucked, like it was a complete scam, or they're just placing the responsibility of change in a program, which we can go to trust because we can get the gym analogy on them. Okay. So we ask them questions like, what do you feel like was missing or what prevented you from seeing the same success? Yes. And it's like, okay, like what was missing? One-on-ones. Oh, this, oh, that. Gotcha. Okay. I hear you. So, I mean, you're committed to getting more help and not letting more time pass? Yes? Great. Even if they say yes, we still want them to get to here because we want them to admit that they have made a decision because they're looking for certainty. That's why I always ask, is what you're looking for is a guarantee? Nothing is guaranteed in life. Like the work is on them, right? That's why we have this entire process here. So moving on, if they say no, like if they say, oh, I'm not committed, then we say, gotcha, okay, like, I hear you. I mean, are you open to a different perspective on that? I mean, like, and then again, we just go back into the bike analogy. You know what I mean? It's very straightforward. If they're already in a program, then if they say that the program is bad, then we obviously go here. If we say, oh, how is that working out for you? And they say, good. Oh, interesting. I mean, like, can I share some thoughts? Why would you be in a club if you already found the one? You just kind of like giggle it a little bit, like giggle it off. And then be like, yeah, I can see your point. It's like, oh, like, I don't even know. Like, right. I mean, like something has to be missing that has you looking elsewhere for love. Silence. If they don't tell you directly right away, oh yeah, they admit that. Okay, great. If they don't, then it's like, okay, what do you feel like is missing that's preventing you from getting where you ultimately want to go? Like what's missing in the process that you're in right now that's preventing you from actually seeing results? And they're going to tell you. If they tell you, oh, it's this, it's that, great. Okay, no worries. If it's nothing, then it's like, okay, like, why are we even here then? Like, what are you hoping that we can do? Because you really want them to tell you that, like, they're here for a reason. Nobody would book a call if they had no problems. Okay, think about that. Like, don't let the excuse of, oh, I'm already in a program that's preventing me from working myself, that has prevented me from investing to my skill set more, throw you off, because that's not a real reason. Like, someone wouldn't walk into a doctor's office completely healed and be like, oh yeah, I just want to see what you guys do. What? So it doesn't make sense. There's something behind it. Okay. And the reason why they haven't invested more is usually because of fear, right? So if I say something like an analogy like this, where it's like, okay, I mean, do the most successful people on the planet invest in themselves only once or multiple times? Multiple times. I mean, do you know how many coaches Michael Jordan had? He had several shooting coaches, like several coaches for nutrition, diet, sleep. He didn't just rely on one single source. So I mean, for you, like, how committed are you to investing into yourself more? If they say no, you ask why, and you really just get into either trust or bad experience, right? Because again, there's a reason why they're on the call. It's not because they're just wasting your time. If you ask them, okay, what do you feel like prevented you from seeking more help then? They're either going to say money, time, trust. Like, it's all here. Okay, that's why it all connects together. Shopping around, very simple here. So, oh yeah, like I'm just looking at a different program. So I'm assessing options right now. Okay, got it. So it sounds like what you're looking for is certainty that who you work with will help you get to where you want to go. Yes? Okay, I mean, because over here, it's not like a one-size-fits-all approach. What did you resonate with the most, like with the other people that you've spoken to? And they're going to say, oh, like I like this program, I like this person. If they give you pushback here, it's like, oh, why do you want to know? Well, I mean, like I said, it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. Like, ideally, if you found something that you liked, there's something that we could possibly do to help match that. Gotcha. And they tell you. So why haven't you moved forward with anybody yet? You're either going to go to the underlying objection, whether it's trust or time or money. If they say, I want to talk to everyone first, okay, that's an uncertainty objection still. So you say, gotcha. I really appreciate how much you care about the decision you want to make here. However, I wouldn't be doing my job as a coach if I didn't challenge you on that, right? Can I challenge you on that? Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, like, how are you going to get the clarity that you're looking for? Is it by talking to every company under the sun, or is it by taking action? Like, is interviewing every pilot, asking, what does this button do? What does this button do? What does this button do? Like, is that really going to get you closer to your destination? Let them sit there. If they say yes, no, let them argue. I'm not looking for a correct answer here because I'm trying to get them to trust. Okay? I'm trying to get them to trust. Oh, is what you're looking for a guarantee? It's uncertainty, guys. If you get these objections, it's super easy to pre-handle them. So how will you know until you actually try something? Oh, I don't know. Trust. Boom. Done. So that's basically all the inception sequences here, or sorry, all the pre-handling sequences here. I do have like these things here. It's very similar to the doctor analogy. Like, you can use this if it doesn't work. It's basically just like getting someone to understand that they've gotten a driver's license. They didn't let the fear of getting their driver's license prevent them from getting their driver's license, right? They just did it because if they didn't, then they're not able to drive. You can also say, oh, I mean, do you know people that have died in a car accident? Why hasn't that prevented you from getting in the car every day? Right? It's the same thing, right? So again, you need to understand that fear is what keeps people in their consequence of an action, okay? So we're naturally getting them to admit that. Now, up next is obviously the pre-frame method that gets prospects sold before you even pitch, okay? And this is what I like to call the permission for accountability reframe or pre-frame. So this is beautiful because, I mean, after you've done through all of this, after you've gotten someone to admit that trust or fear is the reason why they are where they are now, and then you basically got them to tell you that they are committed to making that change, right? Literally all I do after that, the pre-frame here, is, all right, so can I ask your permission for something? Like, whether it's next week, next month, tomorrow, even on this call, to myself and all the coaches, like, do we have your permission to hold you accountable and push you to do things that may not be comfortable in the moment, best for growth and development? And they're going to be like, yeah, like, I want the accountability, yes. Are you 100% sure? And they're going to say, yes. All right, let's dive in and talk about the program. Boom, I pitched them, done. Now, again, the reason why I'm doing this is because even if fear comes up after the pitch, because again, you have to understand that you have to expect these objections to come up. And if you've already asked them for their permission, I mean, you don't always need to, but if you've literally got them to tell you that you have their permission to hold them accountable, if they are like, oh, I need to think about it. Oh, I need to do all these different things. Like, this is going to be for another video, but like, you basically are able to just be like, I hear you. Now, again, as your coach, would you want me to just roll over and accept what you're saying and let you do things how you want? For like earlier, do you want me to tell, or like earlier, would you want me to hold you accountable? It's so simple. So that's basically it for that. And then number 3, or part 3 here, is the pre-handling mistakes that sabotage your closes. Again, you can memorize all these different word tracks. You can do all these different things, but there's a few things that will really kill the deal. Okay. The first one is thinking that you can't do this at any part of the call. This is important because a lot of frameworks, a lot of scripts, they teach you to get like desired state first or desired state later or a current situation first and then consequence and eliminating DIY objection and then leaving everything to pre-handle at the end. Like, you don't need to, because if you let limiting beliefs breathe on the call, like if someone literally says, oh, like I haven't been able to do this because of money, or like, oh, like, you know, if they say something that is a signal for me to actually probe into, I'm legit going to start pre-handling right then and there, because I'm able to explore other outcomes in that sequence. Meaning, for example, like, actually, let me show you the opposite. If you are super rigid and you don't do this at any part of the call and you focus on one process, then you're essentially letting limiting beliefs potentially breathe and letting the prospect just say what they want to say, and you're enabling them to say these different things instead of holding them accountable like a leader. And then you're going through all these different outcomes, and the pre-handling might come off as very robotic or flat. The reason why I say here that not exploring other outcomes in this sequence is a mistake is because you can also get someone to tell you their goals and their consequences here. Like, look, if I asked you, can I share a perspective with you? Like, what happens if we never gain the courage to invest into ourselves? Like, what would life look like at that point? And they're going to say, oh yeah, it's trash. Or it's like, oh no, it's not good. Like, I'm going to be overweight. Or they say something super vague. Oh, like, yeah, it's just not good. Okay, well, like, what's not good about it though? Paint the picture for me. I might ask them to explore a different outcome. Like if I want to explore the consequences or like the gap, it's like, okay, well, I mean, how would that make you feel if we actually did that? If life actually looked and felt that way? You can also ask, is this what you deserve? No. Why not? Okay, so tell me, like, and I do goal. What do you deserve? What is it that you want? What has you bearing all this weight to change? Okay, got it. So I mean, like, dude, like, how committed are we to drawing the line in this? So again, you're able to get these things very flexible. And the very last mistake here is moving to the pitch with every prospect. Like, you need to understand, if you don't have enough time in your discovery, it is totally okay to do a 2-call close. Not meaning you're going to pitch them and then like let the call bleed over and then they have to go. No. If you're like 50 minutes in and you haven't been able to get them to admit fear, you haven't been able to do a proper discovery, you're going to do something I like to call a proposal close, which is basically saying, okay, I have all the information. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these notes. I'm going to present it to John, the offer owner. And then we're going to see if we can devise a plan together. If he has any thoughts for me, he'll share it. And then I have my calendar open now. Let's meet tomorrow, same time, and then we'll go through the plan and go through everything else. You're still holding leverage. You don't want to drop the price and then let them leave because of the time running out. And if they're not a good fit, you just end the call. That's it. So that's the full pre-handling sequence. You can study this all day and your calls will still sound the same unless someone shows you what specifically you are doing wrong. So if you want me to do the same for you, personally review one of your sales calls for free and show you exactly where your deals are dying. I'm opening up my calendar for a limited time, and I'll also send you every resource from this video, plus my own call breakdowns. The link is in the description below. I'll see you on the next one.